you, Emily. Can everyone hear me? Thumbs up? Okay, great. All right. Well, thank you everyone for having me again. My name is Sam Harris. I'm an environmental health data analyst with Environmental Public Health Tracking Program. And we just want to share some resources that we've developed here. So we're really excited about them. Let me see if I can get my slideshow here to work here accordingly. How about that? Can everyone see that?
Yep, it looks good.
Okay. All right. Super. All right. Welcome everyone. And like I said, I work for the Environmental Public Health Tracking Program, which is really part of the environmental health program, if you will, within the Bureau of Public Health Protection and the Department of Health and Human Services. We're a small team, a small but powerful team. My colleague Lori Reardon is on the call here as well. So she was a really big part of this project as well. And it's really, it's been, I guess, about a year now, a little more than a year, working on a Children's Environmental Health Initiative project. And a big part of this is creating resources for our community health workers. So we really wanted to share the resources that are available and some resources that are coming. So stay tuned for those as well. So again, it certainly wasn't a project just that I did. It was certainly a group project. Again, Lori was a big part of it, as well as other team members here, Nick Shanka, Leanne Atwell, and certainly our colleagues over at JSI as well helped with these products as well. So let's go ahead and get into some of these resources. All right, so I do have an agenda, and I'll try to keep to my time here. I've got my time running. So we will talk a little bit about what is environmental health. I know it's something that we've all probably been familiar with, but just very quickly go over what that is. We'll talk a little bit about kind of our project, Children's Environmental Health Initiative, and then we'll talk about, hopefully spend most of our time on the resources that are available as a result of this project, and do a little bit of a demonstration on a training that will be coming out here shortly as well. Just a quick shout out to anyone who served on the Children's Environmental Health Initiative committee as part of this project. Thank you so much for your input and coming to the meetings and providing that valuable insight. It was very helpful, so thank you for that. All right, so what is environmental health? I really like this definition. I know there's a lot of words, but I do really like the definition. When I think of environmental health, I think of my children, the areas that they play in, and I think of what could potentially, well, I don't think of this all the time, but there are things that could potentially harm them, whether it's a contaminant of some sort. So what in the environment around them, us, our family, could affect us. So it's not just infectious disease, but environmental potential risks. And I really like this last component here. Environmental health includes the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the land and soils on which we live, learn, work, and play. All right, and so again, this particular project is really targeted at children. Children are not little adults. There's a broad range of differences, if you will, but when it really comes down to it, they're really more susceptible to these environmental health risks due to their developmental stage and size, and really kind of their length of exposure, if you will, to these contaminants. So these trainings and this initiative was really targeted at focusing on the children who may be exposed to these risks. All right, so a little bit about the project. So again, the Children's Environmental Health Initiative project, if you will, was really a holistic approach at addressing some of these environmental health issues. So we looked at what resources were available. We tried to update current data to make that, to include that in these resources accordingly, so that our community health workers can provide that to our families. We really wanted to develop a broad range of online resources and trainings to educate individuals who work in the community health, as well as provide resources for the families that they'll be working with. We worked with a broad range of kind of standard, if you will, environmental health and quite comprehensive environmental health topics, certainly asthma, lead exposure, contaminants in well water, and radon and other exposures as well. Our target audience is really community health workers, maternal and child health home visiting nurses, and certainly health officers as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get into some of the resources that came out of this project. And Lori, actually, would you do me a huge favor, Lori? Would you be willing to put in the chat kind of this, just the URL or the website address for this? Because this is one of the great resources that came out of this, is a one-stop kind of shop for children's environmental health resources provided by the state and other resources. But it's just a great kind of resource to have. Hopefully you'll put it in your favorites that you can reference or share with others as you work with clients and families. So it's a great place just to find all of those resources. Is there a comment? Oh, okay. So this was a big effort to bring this to fruition. This is live and accessible at this time. You can certainly access it via the QR code as well. And this will be where these resources will be hosted as well. So any of the resources I'll be talking about would be accessible directly through this website. All right, so well done, Lori, on this website. Love it. All right, so what other environmental health tools and resources are available here? So we do have, as part of that website, an interactive resource guide. And this is basically an online tool that allows users to target environmental health concerns that will be specific to their family. And also kind of leave them with a checklist of environmental health issues that they may be aware of, and then those that they may not be as familiar with, or some further actions that they can take to target those specific environmental health concerns in their homes or in terms of actions that their family can take to prevent those exposures. So it's an interactive resource guide. It takes about 5 or 10 minutes to do, and we're going to go through that a little bit in the next slide. But it's a great resource to be shared with families. There's a new updated 12 Ways Healthy Home Guide. You may be familiar with the previous version of this resource, so we updated it with more current data, some more current contact information, and things of that nature. This is available on that Children's Environmental Health website as well, and hard copies can also be requested as well. I still like hard copies myself. And then also a great magnet as another resource that can be left with families that will bring them to this community, this Children's Environmental Health website, for those resources as needed. And so those are all available at this time and can be accessed through that website. These last two resources are in their final developmental stages or development stages, and they will be released here shortly. I would expect them in the next month or two at the latest. So I would expect them here shortly. So that includes a group of infographic fact sheets with updated data pertaining to kind of statistics for the state in a very friendly, kind of accessible way. And then this final piece is something we're really proud of, is an environmental health comprehensive training for community health professionals with updated kind of resources and again, data, statistics, things of that nature. And that is available for community health workers specifically, concerning environmental health and children specifically as well. So those are all new resources that are available to you and to our health professionals working in the community. All right, so let's go over just a couple of these resources a little more in depth here at this time. How am I doing on time? Okay, I'm doing all right. All right, so interactive resource guide. This again is available through that webpage that Lori kindly put into the chat. You can access it through this QR code as well. And we had a question. We have this group here, the community health work of community health workers, and we're hoping that perhaps maybe some of you have already used it. So if you have used it, would you be willing to put that in the chat or come off mute and say that you've used it, or a thumbs up? I don't know if we have anybody who has used it. Let me see if I can access the chat over here. Right, so I don't see that anyone has mentioned that they've used it as of yet. And Lori, would you do me a favor and just watch the chat? Because sometimes I have a hard time presenting, and if you have questions, questions that you probably would be able to answer as well. Okay, so anyway, so it doesn't look like perhaps anyone has used this as of yet, but it's a great resource. It's fun and it's very quick, and it's a way to go over those tools or over the kind of the major environmental health kind of risks, if you will, specific to New Hampshire. So we're really excited about getting the word out that this tool is available, and we're looking to get feedback. I found it in there. Great. No, sorry, I'm distracted here by chat. So anyway, so this is a great tool. I hope that you can use this in your visits and in your work in the community. All right, and so these are the new some of the new fact sheets. Again, these are not quite yet available as of yet, but they will be here available quite shortly. Consists of 4 new updated fact sheets on children's environmental health specific issues with updated factoids, graphics, and things of that nature. So we have an overview fact sheet, which really gives kind of a quick, comprehensive overview of major concerns and topics on children's environmental health throughout the state of New Hampshire. And then we have specific fact sheets on radon, asthma, and drinking water specifically available. Anything with childhood lead, our friends over in the lead poisoning prevention program have excellent resources, and an annual report as well as regional reports that are available specifically for childhood lead. So we highly recommend those resources for region-specific childhood lead poisoning data and resources. So these are not available quite yet, but they will be here shortly. And again, those will be available on that website. All right. Thank you, Lori, for answering the question about mold here. Great. All right. Okay, and these are just some updated factoids with a little, so updated factoids as part of these fact sheets that I just wanted to include, which are exciting. So this is some water quality factoids that are included in terms of percentage of folks on wells. Arsenic is obviously is a contaminant of concern in the state, and manganese as well. Some updated childhood lead poisoning numbers, as well as asthma numbers, and some interesting factoids about radon as well. So these are the types of kind of updated factoids and data that you'll find in the fact sheets as part of that resource. All right, and finally, I'd like to spend some time on this training, which we're really excited about. And again, it's in its final stages, so it's not quite yet released, but this will be a resource that community health workers will be able to access. And as perhaps a refresher, or perhaps environmental health is something of interest, or some community health workers may want to get more experience, more knowledge in that area. So this is a resource just for that. It's self-paced environmental health training, and we've gotten feedback from some targeted focus groups as well. So we put a lot of effort into making it accessible, and are really, really excited about it. So again, it's not quite yet launched, but it will be here shortly. So let me go ahead and kind of open a demonstration of that tool as well. And then we'll have time for some questions as needed once we're done with that. So let me see if I can do this without disconnecting or anything. All right. Does everyone see this? Promoting healthy environments for kids? Thumbs up?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So this is the training, or a preview, if you will, of the training. So it's a broad, kind of very comprehensive review of kind of the major environmental health topics or concerns for children in the state of New Hampshire. Again, standard overview of environmental health basics, section on radon, section on outdoor air quality and extreme temperatures, a section on indoor air quality and asthma, a section on lead, a section on drinking water, and then a final section of putting it all together with a quiz. But again, the quiz is, I think everyone will find is in line with the topic, so no surprises. And there will be a certificate of completion upon finishing the course. So just to take a look, we'll go ahead and look at, I guess we'll start with just kind of the overview, and I'll probably take a look at one topic. We won't go through all of them, but just to give you an idea of what the training will entail. So again, children's environmental health. We'd be looking at an overview. It is narrated for those who may prefer a narration. And on the left-hand side, you'll be able to see the different topics. We had a lot of feedback about renters versus owners, which is great feedback as part of our as the advisory committee. So that was really great feedback we tried to incorporate into the training. But you'll see it's self-paced with interactive cards and tiles and things of that nature to hopefully keep people engaged as they go through the training, and with videos embedded and things of that nature as well. So again, self-paced, great resource and for environmental health education. So let me go ahead and we'll take a look at just at one subtopic, and then I think if we can just open it for questions as needed. So let me just go see if I can go back. We'll take a look at the radon. Some information about what is radon. I know there's nothing worse than watching someone scroll through something, so I apologize for that. But just to give you an overview. So what is radon? Some interesting and yet sad factoids about some environmental health concerns in New Hampshire. 1 in 3 homes tested in New Hampshire have radon. I was really surprised to see that when that came out. What does radon do? And then there will be action items too as you progress through the training. All right, and then each topic is available on the side. All right, so I did want to give a preview. Again, this is fresh off the press, hasn't quite yet been published. You have a preview of that, and it will be coming shortly, and I'm sure we'll be getting the word out once it is publicly available. All right, I'm keeping an eye on my time here, see if I can get my PowerPoint back up. All right, so that is really all that I have. I know that was a lot of information, so I guess we just wanted to let the group know that those resources are available, and that if you had any questions, please feel free to ask. But and also, actually, if you are interested in getting those 12-way guides in kind of hard copy, or the magnets, we can get those to you. So please feel free to reach out to me directly, or our EPHT information at dhhs.nh.gov. We can get those to you as well. So thank you. I think I'm pretty much on time. 18 minutes is what I have. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And thank you again for having me, Emily. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? I only see clapping hands.
No questions.
Take the question. Oh, right. Yeah, I do see a hand. Natalie, go ahead.
Natalie.
Hi, I saw somewhere in the chat that mold was added in there, and that somebody said that that was in the that pamphlet, the 12
ways guide. Yep.
Ways, yeah, guide. I mean, but
Correct.
I didn't hear you mention anything about bugs or rodents as being environmental. Is that also in there?
Yeah, that's covered in the 12 ways guide as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is covered in that resource as well.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? Amanda?
Hi, so I was just wondering, are there government programs that allow for obtaining the radon test? Because just paying for the radon test is expensive for some people.
Yeah, it is correct. And that is thank you for that question. So yes, so the radon program currently has a testing option, a free testing program. So that can be accessed through the radon program specifically. It is on the fact sheet. So that is available currently.
And is that only available if you own or if you're a renter?
I don't believe there's a requirement to be either. Lori's shaking her head too. So
perfect.
Good question, but I don't think I don't think you have to be an owner to
So link in the training, as well as on the fact sheet, as well as on the radon program page, to this free test kit. So New Hampshire has a contract for a lot of free test kits. So you can request that and use it, and then go from there based on your results.
Yep.
Perfect, and I know thank you.
For water testing, you may come across that as well with your well testers, or even if you're on public water and testing, just to see if there's lead in old faucets and things of that nature. I don't know of any, and those tests can be costly as well, right? So I don't know of any resources, and Laura, you may know some resources for free testing. So unfortunately, those aren't easily available or available to my knowledge right now, unless there's a program that is doing some sort of initiative for testing.
Right.
So we have a lot of our residents on wells, and so, but unfortunately the testing can be a barrier, but we still strongly recommend it.
I have a question for the group. Just curious if folks feel like this environmental health training, children's environmental health training that Sam showed you, will be something you would take or use as a resource. I see a nodding head and.
Yes, I think CHW would be using that.
Thank you.
Great. Great.
All right, any other questions? All right, well, thank you, Sam, for your presentation, and Lori for putting links in the chat as we went along. Yeah, and so if there are any further questions moving forward, you can go ahead and email them. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to Danielle Duffy from North Country Health Consortium, who's going to give us some CHW updates and information.
Hey, thank you, Emily. For those of you who don't know me, as Emily said, I work at North Country Health Consortium. I kind of wear a few hats. I'm the sort of communications and outreach, and I'm also doing the marketing and events now.